at the hook. You can clearly see that hook, and there's the new one coming in. So right now, it's along I-69, right on the interstate, on I-69, about to cross over the trade water and get into the Dawson Spring area. It may pass just north of Dawson Springs, but if you are in Dawson Springs right now, you need to be in your tornado-safe area. But that notch, and it was pan it right here. So there's Charleston, Dawson Springs, Olney. This is the trade water here. I-69, it looks like it's right on I-69 here, and that's moving northeast at, I guess, 45 miles per hour, I believe, is the latest speed that we have on that. And as we continue to look at the velocity data here, and we'll look at the different products here, you can see, and this correlation coefficient here, we don't use this product very often, but that's an indication of sometimes debris in the air. And we're getting that right there along 62 and I-69, and that would be associated with the tornado that will more than likely move very close to, if not through Dawson Springs. If I had to say one side or the other, it may shoot just to the north and west of Dawson Springs, but it's getting very close to the trade water. It's probably about to cross it right now. So this is game on for southwestern Hopkins County and eventually a good deal of the county, but it's coming in from the southwest right now. This is a long track, violent tornado that started back in Arkansas, where it did produce fatalities. It had catastrophic damage along with injuries in Mayfield, Kentucky. It just went through Princeton, Kentucky, and is now about to go into southwestern Hopkins County. So if you're listening, you can turn up the volume of the TV, get to your safe place. You can follow us on our app or streaming our live coverage on our Tri-State Weather Authority, Tri-State on the Go apps, tristatehomepage.com online. You can follow along, but this is a very dangerous situation. Honestly, this is probably the most dangerous situation we have seen perhaps since 2005.
And they're about to issue a tornado emergency for Dawson Springs.
Okay, so
the weather services.
Yeah, and no surprise there. So
and there it is. I think it just came down.
Okay, there it is. And if you want to read, if you have the text that's coming in there.
Tornado emergency for Dawson Springs and St. Charles. They've issued a tornado warning. It's going to go until 11, but again, it is a tornado emergency, which we've been telling you. We don't see that very often at all. A confirmed large and destructive tornado observed over Dawson Springs. It's still moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. We've been telling you that. And they're still talking about the hazard being a deadly tornado. So that very strong wording, Wayne, has not let up at all. And now we've got a tornado emergency for Dawson Springs.
And you can see it here on live First Warning Doppler. There's the couplet here. This is going to be updating momentarily. This is about 2-3 minutes old, so it's going to be probably somewhere up in this area right here. But let me go ahead and pan this back a little bit more and get more of Hopkins County here into play. So it's very close to Dawson Springs right now. So this is going to move up towards Charleston and St. Charles. There's the new one just in, and it is right over Dawson Springs right now. Let me go back and take a look at the two different velocity products that we have. That's raw velocity, storm relative, all looking about the same here. And you can see clearly that couplet, the dark blues is winds rushing towards the radar, bright red is away. So there it is. The tornado is moving right through Dawson Springs, maybe concentrated a little bit more on the north side, and that's going to continue to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. I don't know, Stacey, if you in your box, can you get a storm track up on that? I just want to stay focused on exactly where this is, but Stacey's going to get a storm track, a more long-range storm track in terms of where this is going to be going over the next 30 minutes. But I want to stay right on top of this and go minute by minute in terms of where this tornado is going. And this is reflectivity coming out of the Dawson Springs area. And I'm going to go check First Warning Doppler. The problem we have with our radar, we're shooting through the back side of the storm, and it's kind of breaking up the radar beam, so we don't have a clean shot right now into the storm. But we can get it from the south here with the radar out of Fort Campbell. So this tornado is over the Dawson Springs area. Really, the velocity data is going to be our best indicator of where this is. So let's
switch to Max 2 to my screen, and you can see that storm track that we have put on there. Moving to the northeast, like we've been telling you, at 45 miles per hour. Take the full screen of that so everybody can kind of see that storm track real close. There you go. So right over Dawson Springs right now, moving northeast 45 miles per hour. So that puts it into Richland at 10:45, Earlington at 10:50, Madisonville 10:53, and Anton at 11 p.m. Now keep in mind our cone there does get a little wider the farther to the northeast it goes, but we're going to continue to track this minute by minute for you here. But those are the next communities in line that you want to be in your tornado safe place right now. Get there and stay there until this storm has passed. So again, 10:45 Richland, 10:50 Earlington, up into the Madisonville area at 10:53, and then close to Anton at 11 p.m. Wayne.
All right, so we really haven't seen a weakening trend with this so far. It would be interesting to see what the next scan shows, because the farther northeast it goes, the more likely it's going to maybe weaken a little bit, and the new scan just did come in. But you still got that intense wind blowing towards the radar, so the tornado more than likely is right along I-69 to the northeast of Dawson Springs, and then we'll be moving up north of 69 as you move up into southern Hopkins County. Here's Morton's Gap, here's Earlington, and the tornado is back. Let me bring it into view here. Is about right here. So this is going to be shooting up in this direction and moving up into the Earlington area. As she just showed you, Stacey just showed you the time of arrival here. Something else that might be helpful here, I'm going to zoom back here.
And the Weather Service still saying spotter and radar continue to confirm the tornado near Dawson Springs.
Okay, I want to show you our shear product. This might be a pretty good tool when it comes to showing the track of the strongest winds, if it's showing up. Yeah, sure enough, there it is. So this is a good snapshot of where this tornado is going. Okay, this is basically a snapshot every 5 minutes of where the rotation is. So bam, bam, bam. Now it would be in Dawson Springs. It lags the radar a little bit, but you can clearly see the path that this storm is taking. And if you just extend that line, it's going to continue. Let's just push it here a little bit more. Actually, let me pull back a little bit. I really want to make sure we have a pretty good feel for where this is going. There's Madisonville. Okay, there's the path it's taking. You just extend that to the northeast, right through Dawson Springs. Then it shoots up close to Madisonville. Earlington, certainly a better chance maybe, but Madisonville, very close call. I mean, the track could be similar to 05. Of course, that one went more this direction. This one's going more this direction, but it looks like Madisonville's going to be a very close call. Better chance in Earlington, but really between Nortonville and Earlington, that's going to be the prime area right there. Again, you just extend that in that direction, and that's where it's going. So that's showing a pretty good, doing a really good job of where the tornado damage has been. So we'll get back to the traditional view. Lots of lightning. It's probably in that notch right there. So it's continuing to advance across Hopkins County, southern Hopkins County, at about 45 miles per hour. So just stay in your tornado-safe area, hunker down, and we'll get through this. Probably just to the north of 69, to the northwest of Nortonville. So we'll get back to velocity data here. That's going to do the best job at picking this up. And there it is. The blues right next to the red, and it doesn't matter which product you look at. They are both sticking out like a sore thumb. You remember what we were looking at earlier tonight. Didn't look anything like this. And you got the tornado emergency here within the larger tornado warning, the new scan coming in.
And we've added to that warning now, too. When you get a second, I can update that.
Okay.
Tornado warning now goes for northern Muhlenberg County, also Mclean County, and northeastern Hopkins County, and those are going to go until 11:30. So they're giving you plenty of time, and they are continuing this tornado warning. Same strong language. They have not backed off of it at all. A confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado located over Dawson Springs. We've been showing you that. They've slowed it down a little bit, though, and that has been the case over the past few warnings, now saying moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. Still a particularly dangerous situation. So if you are in these areas that we are talking about, you want to be taking cover now, getting to your safe spot and staying there. This is a damaging tornado. It's been on the ground for a long time. It's had a history of producing some very significant to even catastrophic damage. So Wayne, now we have that tornado warning going until 11:30 for northern Muhlenberg, Mclean County, and then northeastern Hopkins County.
All right, no surprise there, and we're going to continue to focus in on the velocity information here, because that clearly shows what's going on here with the tornado wrapped up right here, and that's now just along and north of I-69, and that's going to be moving up really close to Earlington. So I would say just south of Earlington might be the most favored area. I mean, this is going to be a very distinct path of damage. That you're either going to get it or you're not. And it looks like it's going to be a very close call for Earlington. Madisonville, it may very well shoot just to your south in Madisonville, but I'd still be in the basement in Madisonville, certainly. Nortonville, it looks like you're going to go to your north. So really, it's that area between Earlington and Morton's Gap, that area right there that is of the highest concern. And I'm going to continue to just zoom in a little tighter here to bring in all the communities, but that's your tornado. It's going to cross 112. There's Earlington up there to the north. And it looks like it's just north of 69. There's St. Charles. There's I-69. There's Morton's Gap. You got 69 going north, and there's Earlington. There's the tornado. It's going to come like this, and it looks like it's going to go into a fairly rural area there, right between Morton's Gap and Earlington. The new update just came in, and this thing is still wrapping up in that area. Let me go take a quick look here at the two velocity products, because it looks like we're folding over some here. So don't let the blue distract you here. That could be a combination of they're running out of colors on the red scale and they're going over to blue. So right here looks to be the tornado crossing 112, Kentucky 112 to right between 69 to the south, Earlington and Kentucky 70 up here to the north. So game on now for the Earlington area, and especially those areas between Earlington to the north and Morton's Gap to the south. That corridor there looks to be the most favored area for what looks like a major tornado. We're talking EF3 or stronger, has a history of producing catastrophic damage. It's a tornado emergency for this part of Hopkins County. This is a situation you don't want to mess around with. This is one you stop whatever you're doing. We've given you a heads up the past couple of hours. This was on the way. And now is the time to be in your tornado safe area. And that is a basement if you have one. If not, lowest floor of your home. Get in the middle of your home. Put as many walls between you and the wind as possible. Get underneath a heavy piece of furniture. Flip a sofa over, mattress. Throw a blanket over. Helmets, bicycle, football, motorcycle helmets, something on your feet. A flashlight, to be prepared and just hunker down until this passes on through, because it looks like a major tornado that's going to be passing very close to Earlington, perhaps right between Earlington and Morton's Gap, and a close call for the Madisonville area also. There's Grapevine, there's Oriole, and there's your tornado right back here. So we're waiting on the next scan to update here. Here's reflectivity. So it's probably right in that area there. Going back to velocity, it's a correlation coefficient right there. That's your correlation coefficient indicating maybe debris in the air. And that's going to, again, I think your best area might be right there between Earlington and Morton's Gap. In Earlington, in Morton's Gap, you got to be in a safe place right now. You have to be. And here comes the new scan right there. And this is, we're looking at something we don't normally look at, correlation coefficient. It kind of shows lofted debris, that this thing is producing some damage, and it's about to cross Highway 41 between Earlington and Morton's Gap. Let's get back to velocity here. That hasn't updated yet. We saw the correlation coefficient update first, so right there, and it's going to come in here very close to Earlington. It's looking a little better for Madisonville, but you stay in your basement in Madisonville. We're not letting our guard down here because right now a dangerous tornado that looks to be passing just south of Madisonville, and that might be the new update right there. Still, well, honestly, the couplet obviously still very strong, maybe a little less than it was when it was back in southwestern Kentucky, but it's certainly significant, and it is coming in. There's Madisonville to the north. There's Earlington, Grapevine, Morton's Gap. Best indication is that it's right there, coming in across 112, and then is going to shoot very close to Earlington, very close to Morton's Gap. A close call for both of these. I think there's going to be a swath of damage in here somewhere. Could be right over Earlington. Keep in mind the radar beam is up at a few thousand feet, so the rotation here doesn't necessarily translate vertically straight on down. And it looks like they just extended probably a new tornado emergency there, continuing up into the rest of Hopkins County. But this product right here is doing a good job at identifying where some debris may be in the air. You see that return right there. So, again, it looks like Earlington to Morton's Gap, high risk of damage here. A little farther to the north, Madisonville, a risk. You stay in your basement, be in your basement south of Morton's Gap. But this is the area we're really concentrating on right now, is right between Earlington and the Morton's Gap area, as this strong tornado continues to move through the area. Reflectivity, the notch is probably right there. That could be the tornado right there. And Madisonville's to the north. So again, it's looking a little better for Madisonville, but a close call for Earlington. And if we're lucky, maybe it goes through the rural areas right between Earlington and Morton's Gap. But this is going to produce some damage. It's just a question of how much and who's going to get hit here. And then it's going to continue northeastward. Once it crosses 41 and 69, it again gets up into a rural area towards Fees. I believe that's how you pronounce it there, up in eastern Hopkins County. But right now, the tornado is more than likely in that notch right there. New one just came in. And what do you have, Stacey?
Yeah, so they've updated the tornado emergency, like you said. So now it's a tornado emergency for Earlington and Afton, Kentucky, a particularly dangerous situation. They're talking deadly tornado. We can't stress, how significant this is enough. But the tornado warning for west central Muhlenberg County and for southeastern Hopkins County going to go until 11:15. So again, now we have the tornado emergency for Arlington and Often, I'm not. How do you? I'm not sure.
Anton?
No, Afton, Kentucky.
That sounds like it should be Anton. Anton.
Yeah, maybe
they
have it spelled. Yeah, maybe they have it.
It might be a typo.
It might be a typo in there.
Yeah.
And also we have the Weather Service out of Louisville has already issued a tornado warning for Ohio County, and that's going to go all the way until 11:45. And they are also calling it a particularly dangerous situation. I was looking on the chat out of Louisville. And this is kind of their wording. The storm getting ready to move into Ohio County, which is the one we have been tracking for you for a while now through Hopkins County, has had a history of extensive damage, causing injuries, causing casualties. So if this holds together, they're saying one of the strongest storms to impact that area in nearly a decade. So they can't understate how serious this situation is. So they have gone ahead in Ohio County and issued that tornado warning well in advance of the storm. Like we've been telling you for the past couple of hours, everybody down in these areas need to take your precautions now. So again, Wayne, Weather Service out of Louisville, Paducah, everybody using as strong of wording as they can with this storm.
And I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
very quickly, talk to storm chaser Chris Conley. Mm-hmm. He is heading to Morton's Gap, but he did see the tornado as he passed through Dawson Springs. Okay. His words, it is a huge tornado.
Really?
A big tornado. So,
yeah, and we have seen it on the ground now for quite some time.
All right.
Thank you, Brad. So again, Chris Conley now, who is our storm chaser, very experienced one, has been down in that area throughout the evening. And earlier, he wasn't, with a couple of those warnings that we had earlier, he wasn't seeing too much. Maybe saw a little rotation here and there, some rotation, but now he has definitely confirmed that he has seen this tornado on the ground and that it is a really big tornado. Wayne?
All right, so let's get back to first warning Doppler. This tornado is probably very close to Earlington right now. It looks like it may have gone a little more on the northern path up towards the Earlington area, maybe just south, but it's very close to Earlington. It looks like it's going to pass just to the south of Madisonville here. So we're continuing to track the velocity data here. This is not what we normally show you, but this is doing the better job, I think, of where the damage is. And this little little brightness that you see, this little colorful patch you see in our correlation coefficient product, may be the best indicator of where the tornado is, and that's actually updating a little quicker. It's right along I-69 to the east of Earlington, and so that's going to move up towards Fees, and then you've got Earls over here. So, again, Madisonville, you're sitting up here right now. It looks like it's passed very close to Earlington, probably stayed south of Grapevine and Madisonville, and is now going to be shooting up into areas east of Madisonville and eastern Hopkins County. So that product is doing a pretty good job, and it looks like we lost some of the I got some bad data, it looks like, coming in there with that particular scan. But there's that notch right there. So that's a good indicator, too, of where this tornado more than likely is. So Earlington, obviously, you'll know if you've been hit by this point because it's now past the Earlington area. It looks like it's passing just southeast of Madisonville up towards Fees or Fies next. There's Anton right there where the airport is, or Anton. Sandy's over here, and then you're starting to get into Mclean County where you got Millport there. So this tornado now is passing, it came through the Earlington area. We don't know if it was a direct hit for Earlington. It looks like it's passing just south and east of Madisonville. But if you're in Madisonville, you still need to remain in your safe area. And now you have to be in your safe area east of Madisonville, along Kentucky 70. It's going to be crossing 70 to the east of Madisonville here momentarily. And there's no indication that this has weakened considerably at all. It still looks like a significant tornado. It is still a tornado emergency, and we continue to track it here on live first warning Doppler radar, pushing through the heart of Hopkins County here, just to the south and east of Madisonville. This is velocity data. I think we got bad data in here, so we don't have a really good view, but this correlation coefficient here, I think, is doing a pretty nice job of pinpointing where potentially debris has been lofted up into the air. And now the new one has come in, and we're not seeing quite as much of it, maybe a little bit up there. So it looks like the products are now updating a little bit. So we're just going to stay with this frame by frame. But I think this is some bad data that got into here on the latest scan, unfortunately. But it does look like Anton Fees, east of Madisonville, Kentucky 70, that corridor is next in line to experience the tornado. And then it gets up into Mclean County. Mclean County, Millport, Sandy is over here. I'm sorry, we're talking about Northwestern Muhlenberg County, and then Mclean County, Sacramento over here. So there's the latest scan that just updated. So yeah, it's going to get into Northwestern Muhlenberg County near Millport, kind of ride Kentucky 85, maybe just south of Kentucky 85 as it moves up towards the Sacramento area. So we have Anton right there, Fees, Sacramento, Millport, all communities that are potentially in line to experience this tornado as it continues to move to the northeast. And it looks like the threat for Madisonville is beginning to diminish. Yeah, it looks like Madisonville, I'm going to get you out of your basement here shortly, but I think the circulation is now off to your east in that little notch right there. And I'll check our Doppler radar to see if it's doing a good job. Again, it's cutting through all that heavy rain, so it's breaking up the heavy beam or the beam quite a bit. So we're not getting a really good view at that. So we'll get back to first warning Doppler here, and this one coming out of Fort Campbell, I think, is giving us the best view. Though let's go take a look at VWX out of Gibson County, see what it's seeing here. It's got some shear also, but it's also having to fight through all that rain to get a good view of what's going on here. But it continues to show that notch near, right along 70 there, approaching Fees or Fies there, just east of Madisonville. You got the airport right there. So this is going to be tracking up along the Kentucky 85 corridor to the east of Madisonville, then clipping northwestern Muhlenberg County up near Millport, and then going into southern Mclean County up near Sacramento. So if you're watching in Sacramento, that's the next
expired at 11.
At 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
because this storm is on the move.
It's moving out, and they will allow it to expire. We also got another update from Chris Conley, our storm chaser, who's down there, who did tell us that he saw the tornado on the ground as he passed through Morton's Gap. And he is now calling, he said it's a rain-wrapped tornado, which I think we've been seeing on radar too, Wayne. But he has now confirmed that he certainly has seen this one, and it's a large tornado.
Yeah, indeed. And we continue to see that here on our first warning Doppler system. This product doing a pretty good job of pinpointing what may be debris in the air crossing Kentucky 70 there near Fies, about to go up into northwestern Muhlenberg County near Millport, Sandy. Bremen is over here, so it's not out of the question that Bremen will be threatened for the fourth time tonight by yet another tornado. But this is certainly the bigger threat out of all the ones that we've been dealing with. So I'm going to pull back and bring into perspective here a little bit of a broader view of where we're dealing with here. Madisonville looks like the threat has ended for you. It's now going to be shifting up into northwestern Muhlenberg. So there's Bremen, Sacramento, and there's your tornado right there. And we'll go look at the shear track here and see how it has evolved. And you can kind of see, and again, these are snapshots every 3 or 4 minutes of where the rotation is. So you just extend that out, and if you continue to extend it, and it does look like it passed just south and east of Earlington, at least the worst of it. And then it's going to go up in this direction. Just continue that line, and it looks like it's going to get close to Bremen and maybe come in right between Bremen and Sacramento. So right now, I would say this is going to be a close call for Bremen. It may go in right between the two, but those are the next two communities of size that will have to deal with this. Of course, some smaller communities in between there, but just showing you this, I think, gives us a pretty good feel for where this tornado is going with snapshots over time, and then you just extend them out in this direction. And it does look like Madisonville missed the tornado. It was a close call for Earlington and Morton's Gap. I think right in between, there was certainly some damage here based on what we're seeing. And then now Bremen and Sacramento are next in line here. So we'll get back to radar here, get back to the more traditional data, and we'll continue to look at velocity. And we're getting a little farther away from the site here in Fort Campbell, but it looks like we still have something up here in this area. We'll check VWX out of Gibson County. We'll see if that's doing a better job here. So this is Gibson County. VWX looks like the tornado now is right along, very close to where Hopkins, Muhlenberg, and Mclean counties all come together, right there. Just still inside the Hopkins County line, but that looks to be the tornado right here. So we've shifted over to the Gibson County radar, which appears to be doing the best job at really detecting it. And look at the notch right there. So it looks like the tornado is just about out of Hopkins County and about to push up across the extreme northwest corner of Muhlenberg County in the Bremen area, and very close to Sacramento is where this tornado is going next. So it's right there. Going to move in that direction there. Close call for Bremen, close call for Sacramento, may pass right in between. But you need to be in your tornado-safe areas in both Bremen and Sacramento as this storm is now headed your way. And then after that, it goes up across extreme southern Mclean County up towards Island, and then it's going to go up into Ohio County, western Ohio County, which is already under a tornado warning. So best fix right now is right on the Hopkins Muhlenberg County line, just south of the Mclean County line, getting very close to the Bremen area. And you can see the couplet right there on live first warning Doppler. Let's see if the correlation coefficient, yeah, that's doing a good job right there too. You can see that little swath of potential debris that indicates that this is still a tornado lofting some debris up into the air. The new scan just came in. And so you project that a little bit more, and this looks like it's going to be a closer call for Bremen versus Sacramento. So Bremen, very close, especially just northwest of Bremen. You've got the potential that this is going to pass very close to Bremen and probably just miss Sacramento to the south. But either community, you need to be in your tornado-safe area right now. Update?
Yeah, we have an update. Brad, come in from the newsroom. You guys have been collecting all kinds of damage reports for us. What do you have right now?
Well, right now, and it's coming in literally as I speak, the southbound lanes have entered Interstate 69 near the Earlington exit have been shut down.
Okay.
A semi-truck has jackknifed, is on the pavement there. Several cars are in a ditch, we are told, and trees are shredded in the area. And this is in the Earlington area on I-69, southbound 69 shut down.
Thank you, Brad. We appreciate it, and we will keep you guys giving us all that information, because it certainly helps us to pass it along, because these storms are not weakening right now as they move to the northeast. So there's some more damage down in the Earlington area, Wayne, as this storm continues to move through. But Hopkins County now kind of getting out of this, at least this part of the storm.
Indeed, and we did track that very close to Earlington, and it looks like it may have just gone through the south and east sides of Earlington, and now it's into the northwest corner of Muhlenberg County, approaching Bremen. There's the damage, the debris that's lofted into the air. It's a CC product. We call it the correlation coefficient. It's some of the newer Doppler technology. It's been around for 5-10 years, but we don't use it that often. But we get into a major tornado, it does a good job of showing debris, and that looks like it's headed very close to Bremen here, and a little bit more south of Sacramento. So the tornado's somewhere in this area here. And they just updated, it looks like, southern Mclean and northern Muhlenberg counties. And this is the fourth tornado warning for Muhlenberg County tonight. I mean, Muhlenberg County has been in the bullseye, but this is certainly the most significant one, certainly more so even than the one that hit Central City. Obviously, based on what we're seeing on radar and the history of the damage reports that have been coming in. So far, no injuries reported in the immediate tri-state area. Mayfield, yes. So far, not here. But this tornado getting very close to Bremen, and then it's going to be tracking up into extreme southern McLean County, probably right along the Muhlenberg-McLean County line between Bremen, Sacramento, and Island. And that area right there, I think that's going to be your most favored area for the tornado. And we'll continue to watch this product when it updates. But there's Bremen, and it looks like it's going to come in, if anything, just to the north and west of Bremen. Maybe a direct hit. It's a very close call. It does look like it's going to come in south of Sacramento and then shoot up right along. And there's the new update, and the return's even more significant here. So there's definitely debris, and you can see it's just to the north and west of Bremen. So Bremen is a close call for you. It looks like it's right between the town of Bremen and the McLean County line where this tornado is tracking, just crossing over 181 now, and then was going to ride the McLean Muhlenberg County line, and that'll be the last town maybe for a little while. It looks like it's staying south of Sacramento, and hopefully will track south of Island over a more rural area. But we're actually getting some pretty. Well, I can't say we can pinpoint it exactly, but we're getting some pretty good detail here on our products as far as where this tornado is. And it looks like it's just to the northwest of Bremen. And there's Island, there's Livermore, Rockport, Central City. You're fine this time around. But this is going to ride up here, and then it gets into Ohio County. So after it gets through here, let me back up, and I'm going to have to go back here and hit the pan command one more time. After we get it out into Ohio County, it's going to ride this direction. And once again, a close call is going to be for Hartford. My guess is it goes in between B right now, just based on where it is, shooting up in that direction. We take it up north, right between Hartford and Beta, but you still have some smaller communities out here. But right now, it looks like this is passing very close to the town of Bremen, what still appears to be a major tornado that we're tracking on live first warning Doppler radar. And our tools here coming in out of the VWX radar site, our correlation coefficient showing the debris here that is lofted and crossing 181. So I would suspect the next frame we see is going to have it up here right along the border of Muhlenberg and McLean County, and then getting very close to Island. So if you're in Island, you need to be in your tornado safe area. because it's moving your way. And there's the next frame. So, yeah, look at that. Those are very distinct returns that we're getting there.
And the Weather Service is looking at exactly what you are, too. And they just said they have complete confidence that this tornado is still on the ground, given the radar reflectivity and that correlation coefficient. And that's exactly what Wayne is showing you right there. That's showing the debris and that's showing the strong rotation. So they are completely confident that this tornado is still on the ground right now, moving just north of the Bremen area. So we're going to continue to watch this. We're watching what the National Weather Service is saying, too. Let me check the National Weather Service out of Louisville. They have an update, too, because they're the ones that issued that tornado warning already for Ohio County almost a half an hour ago. And they're saying that that tornadic supercell that will be crossing into Ohio County here shortly still has incredible velocity on the radar, typical of what you would see in a strong to violent tornado. So this is an incredibly dangerous situation. So again, that's the wording from the National Weather Service out of Louisville. And they are tracking this storm that's near Bremen, getting ready to make its way into Ohio County. And they put out their warning quite a while ago to give everybody plenty of time. But again, their words, strong to violent tornado, everyone's still completely confident that it is on the ground, and it's a really dangerous situation, Wayne.
All right. All right, thanks for the update, Stacey. By the way, Ron and Joe are also here in the Weather Center. They're on Facebook, and if you have questions about other parts of the area, you can talk to them. Obviously, we're focusing in on this major tornado, but what I do want to do real quick here is quickly show a bigger picture of what's going on in the rest of the tri-state. Because we have a lot of rain in the Evansville area, but nothing severe. We have another tornado warning down here in Crittenden County, Kentucky. That is moving towards also the trade water between Sturgis and Providence, but no warning there yet. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning up in northern Knox, northern Davies County. But some heavy rain in the Henderson area now, but we're not seeing anything severe. The big concern, and it is a big one, it continues to be down here along the Mclean-Muhlenberg County line, where we have a major tornado that continues to track, fortunately right now over a fairly rural area, moving out of the Bremen area, and then we'll be tracking right along the Muhlenberg-McLean County line. So we'll zoom in a little bit tighter here. We'll get back to the radar products. But again, we got some rain and thunder in the Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh area right now, but nothing severe. We're going to continue to keep an eye on the rest of the tri-state. And all the latest warnings are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. But this correlation coefficient product is basically what gives us high confidence that this storm, this is a tornado, and it is creating damage or drawing debris into the air. And the radar can tell the difference between raindrops and debris, whatever that debris may be. It looks different to the radar beam. And so that's what we're seeing right now. And this is getting very close to Stroud. So Stroud is the next community that this is about to go into. So we were talking about areas just south of Island. So Stroud now, game on for you. This is going to be a significant tornado coming through the community of Stroud that is right on the southeastern Mclean-Muhlenberg County line. And then it's going to head up next towards Matanzas in Ohio County and probably shoot just to the west and north of Centertown. But in Stroud, that's where you need to be in your tornado safe area right now, as that tornado is moving your way across really right along the Muhlenberg-McLean County line. Here in the southern part of the tri-state. Once again, that's where all the action has been tonight, although we are getting some rain up here, and we still have a line of storms approaching from the west coming out of the St. Louis area that will be increasing the threat for some severe weather here in the Evansville metro. Not like what we're seeing down here now. This is really unique. This is a long track supercell that started in Arkansas, in central Arkansas early this evening, and it's still producing a tornado that may have been on the ground for 3 or 4 hours. That is rare to have one last that long, but it has just a long, long path of damage, and it doesn't seem to be letting up as it moves through southern portions of the tri-state, now over the community of Stroud, Kentucky, right on the Mclean-Muhlenberg County line. This is passing north of Central City, just south of Island, and very close to Island. I'd certainly be in your safe area in Island right now, but you can kind of see it. This is the traditional view, doesn't really tell you a lot here, but it could be now over towards Matanzas and moving now into western Ohio County. So we just kind of going back and forth between the different sets of data here. This is really the best indicator of where the tornado is. That's where the debris is in the air. So that's a good indicator right there. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that. And then you got your couplet on the velocity data. So this, again, is about to move into, it's clipping really where Muhlenberg, Mclean, and Ohio counties all come together. That's where this tornado is now. And then it's going to emerge into Ohio County up towards Matanzas. That's the third time I think we've talked about Matanzas tonight. Centertown also could be a close call, but my guess is it's going to go in probably closer to Matanzas, northwest of Centertown, and then after that, after it comes out of the Stroud area, it goes up towards No Creek and probably tracks north of Hartford. So once again, Hartford Beaver Dam, the most highly populated area in Ohio County, looks like it's going to miss this tornado as it shoots up here to No Creek and passes to the north of Hartford. That's the way it's looking right now. This long track storm that continues to present a very significant danger to southern portions of the tri-state. The new data just came in, and we'll check the correlation coefficient one more time. And again, we're focusing in on this area here where you see those blues indicating the potential or debris that is in the air from this tornado. And that, again, moving off to the northeast. Reflectivity, not showing too well. We got that little notch right there. So let me also take a look at the HPX radar, see how that one's doing. And that one is coming out of, that's Fort Campbell. Yeah, let's see. Let's just check the two here. And that's also got some debris in the air there, a little broader. But right now, I really think the radar site up in Gibson County is doing the better job for picking up on this. And I think that product right there is doing it nicely here. So again, we got a tornado right where Muhlenberg, Mclean, and Ohio counties all come together, probably just east of Stroud, passing just southeast of Island, heading towards Matanzas in Ohio County, and will likely shoot up to the north of Centertown, where it crosses Kentucky 85 in about another 10 to 15 minutes. Stacey, if you want to get a track on this, on the other Max box there, give people a heads up as to where this is going next. And I'll actually back off of this and show you the bigger picture here, zoom back out, and then show you our severe product, which again is doing a nice job with the snapshots of the shear tracks here. But look at the shear. Look, it looks like it actually got stronger when it passed just north of Bremen there, right along the Muhlenberg County line. Got these shades of purple. You see that? And look at that. It goes from purple to white. So that indicates that the tornado may have strengthened when it went just to the north of Bremen.
Yeah, Wayne, they said the dew points are rising out ahead of this.
Oh, wow.
Risen in the past hour.
Wow. Yeah, all kinds of moisture out there. I mean, this is almost record moisture, record humidity for this time of the year. And that's one of the reasons that these storms are so strong. Humidity is fuel for a severe storm. The more there is, the more gas there is for the storm. And that's why we watch the dew point. That dew point hits 60, tornadoes come into play. It's well above 60 down in our southern counties right now. But you can see the tornado path, how it's going to play out here. It's going to shoot up here and go more than likely north of Hartford, maybe just south of Beta, but that's going to be the track here over the next 30 to 45 minutes, just based on its existing track here. So these are snapshots every 5 minutes of where the rotation is. You can see it intensified just north of Bremen. And so we just extrapolate that out to the northeast, and that takes it across the heart of Ohio County, north of Hartford, maybe just south of Beta, but right now it's pretty much where all the counties come together. And it looks like we got a severe thunderstorm warning up here to the north here. So let's go take a look at that real quick. Well, we have the other information coming in, but we haven't had just a severe thunderstorm warning in a while. And it looks like I may have lost, there we go. So this is embedded within that large area of rain that has come in, but it's a severe thunderstorm warning for Webster County. And you can get some information on that too, Stacey, when we do the update. So that's a severe thunderstorm warning there. But of course, that has a damaging wind threat, not a tornado threat like we have down here. And the tornado right now is more than likely about right there. So this tornado looks like it's going to be coming up and shooting just north of Hartford. But I mean, I said Hartford is going to be okay based on what we've been seeing. But that notch is a little farther south right now. So we'll shoot the shear tracks one more time. And yeah, I mean, it sure looks like it's going to pass north of Hartford, but we'll go check that out. And let's, you have the information on that warning, Stacy?
Yeah, I can do that. First, let's kind of switch boxes here and take a full screen of this, and I'll show you the track on that part, that long-lived supercell that has been producing the tornado that we just continue to track. So that'll take it to around Beta at 11:21, Sunnydale 11:29, Megan 11:32, Fordsville 11:38, and Shreve at 11:41. And that is moving it to the northeast at about 55 to 60 miles per hour. The speed has been fluctuating some from the National Weather Service, but the latest that came from the National Weather Service out of Louisville kind of sped up the speed of that storm again and had it moving at about 60 miles per hour. So that's moving a lot faster again. So again, Beta, Sunnydale, Megan, Fordsville, and Shreve over the next 20 to 30 minutes, you are going to be seeing that tornado that has been on the ground since it's been back in Arkansas. And again, it's an extremely dangerous situation. We've been telling you that to take this very serious, and this is something that we certainly don't see much of at all. So again, we've had the tornado emergency with it, and every warning that comes out talks about it being a large and extremely dangerous tornado. It's been confirmed on the ground. It's been confirmed with damage. It had some injuries, had even some fatalities back in Arkansas. So again, Beta, Sunnydale, Megan, Fordsville, and Shreve, you are kind of the next in line to see that storm. Let me take a look back at that severe thunderstorm warning that Wayne was talking about that was just issued. And like he said, it's been all tornado warnings up until now. But let's take a look. Let me look at the latest information there on the severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be for north central Hopkins County, southeastern Union County, and Webster County. And that's going to go until 11, let's see. That's going to go for us until midnight. So we're at 11:15 right now. That severe thunderstorm warning is going to go until midnight. It's near Marion, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. So the main threats there in parts of Hopkins, Union, and Webster counties right now, 60 mile per hour straight line winds and quarter-sized hail. Haven't mentioned hail a whole lot, but that is a threat with this severe thunderstorm warning. So again, we've got about 45 minutes to go on that severe thunderstorm warning. Wayne?
All right, thanks, Stacey. And don't forget, Ron and Joe are back in the Weather Center handling social media. They're on Facebook. If you have more specific questions about your area, you may be able to get them to answer it. We're focusing on, obviously, the most dangerous situation here on air, and that is the tornado warning for Ohio County in Kentucky, especially areas to the west-northwest of the Hartford Beaver Dam area. That appears to be the most favored area right now for this tornado. And when we say favored, we're fairly confident it is on the ground. You can see that little swath right there, just updated, crossing Kentucky 69, pretty close to Centertown. So let me go over here to the camera and zoom in here and show you where the most favorite area is. And it looks like this tornado, as expected, went right between Matanzas and Centertown, has just crossed Kentucky 85. So Hartford's right here. It looks like it's going to go in between Mill Creek and Hartford, but could be a close call for the Hartford area. So if you're down in Hartford, you want to be in your tornado safe area, but it will be a close call. It looks like, if we're fortunate, it may go just to the north of Hartford. And I say fortunate only because there's fewer people that live there. Hartford, obviously a large city in Ohio County, but it looks like it's passing just north of Centertown, and then it's going to go up here between Mill Creek and Hartford, and then cross over the Parkway into eastern portions of Ohio County. So that's the fix we have right now. Let's get back to the velocity data here coming out of VWX, and we got a couple different products there. And the correlation coefficient continues to do the best job. We'll check out what we're seeing here with the Louisville radar, and if we're getting any decent data out of their radar, and it's not quite close enough there just yet. So we go back to, let's try HPX here, and that one. And that's showing, again, that same area of debris aloft there north of Centertown, likely shooting up here just north of Hartford. So if you're in No Creek or Hartford, you want to be in your tornado safe area. But right now, I think the most favored area is going to be right between No Creek and Hartford for this tornado to actually move on through. That's the way it looks right now based on the radar data. But I'm going to stick with VWX. I think that's doing the best job at showing where this tornado is as it pushes through our southeastern counties here. And the correlation coefficient, this return right here, this green and the sea of reds, is showing us debris, and it just updated, so we're continuing to see debris in the air, and that could be a combination, probably more than likely wood, tree limbs, things like that, that has been lofted into the air. And just based on how that's projecting, it looks like it's going to pass just to the north of Hartford. It's going to be a close call for Hartford. So if you're in Hartford, you want to be in your tornado safe area, especially in the north side, and you need to be in your tornado safe area between No Creek and Hartford, because it looks like that's where the tornado is about to pass on through. History of damage. It has a history of producing injuries. It started back in Arkansas. It is almost an historical long track supercell tornado. I mean, the one back in 2005 that went through the Evansville area, that was on the ground for 40 some miles. This has been on the ground perhaps for more than a couple hundred miles. Don't know if it was continuous, but, you know, do the math. This thing started out in northern Arkansas, and it's still producing damage here all the way into western Kentucky. And right now it is pushing through Ohio County, very close to the Hartford area. But it looks like right now this tornado is likely going to go just between Hartford and No Creek, crossing 231 about right now, and then it's going to be crossing the Parkway shortly thereafter, and then moving up towards Dukehurst. So after it goes past 231 in the Parkway, Dukehurst will be the next community of concern, maybe Jingo, but areas along Kentucky 69 and north of 69, northeast of Hartford, will be the next areas to potentially experience this tornado as it continues across southern portions of the tri-state here. So a dangerous situation continues. I'm going to back up and show you the bigger picture here. And at the same time, I'm going to show you the long path that this has taken here with our severe weather product here, the shear tracks. And you can see right there, you can now it was farther west than that, but this data lasts for about an hour. So you can clearly see where this tornado tracked across southern Hopkins County, extreme northern Muhlenberg County, now moving into western Ohio County. And the Weather Service just put a new warning out for Breckenridge County, which is not in our area of responsibility, but you can clearly see the track that this storm has been taking here. And I'll zoom in here to give you a better view. And by the way, we got a tornado warning up in Knox.
And a new one in Webster County, too.
Oh, okay. We've got to go take a look at that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you have on that?
I can give you the details on that one. So that tornado warning for Webster County is going to go until 11:45. It is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It's near Clay or near Providence, and it's moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. It does not have that extremely strong wording that we have been dealing with the one that moved through Hopkins County, now moving through Ohio County. Not saying a particularly dangerous situation. It's not a long-lived supercell like that one, but still, it's a tornado warning, and it's radar indicated rotation, Wayne. Again, near Clay, near Providence, and moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. And that warning is going to go until 11:45. So now, really, all of Webster County under that tornado warning. So Wayne's going to give you a closer look at that here in just a second. I was going to give you another update too, of just some damage reports that we've been getting in. They're actually calling for rescue units from Christian County to assist in Hopkins County. They've got massive damage, they're saying now, in Dawson Springs with people trapped in buildings there. So we're starting to get more and more reports of a lot of damage around Dawson Springs. And we also had some into our newsroom, Wayne, about massive damage in the Bremen area. Not surprising, but those official reports are starting to roll in right now.
Yeah, not good to hear those adjectives, massive and catastrophic stuff like that. But it's no surprise. That's the track that this tornado has taken. And you can see that it went through Dawson Springs, shot just south and east of Madisonville, through the Bremen area, and now looks like it's going to shoot just north of Hartford. The new tornado warning here, and I'm going to go back here to this storm, and you can see its history, the rotation not nearly as strong as this cell, but you can see it beginning to intensify. And that storm is now ramping up in the Providence area, and that's going to shoot right through the heart of Webster County. So let's go back here to live first warning Doppler and show you what's going on with this particular one. And, of course, all the information is going across the bottom of your screen. But let's get up into Webster County here, where we do have a tornado warning in effect. And we will take a look at the wind velocity data that's coming in from here. So we're working multiple tornado warnings right now. I think certainly the more dangerous one is the one down in the Hartford area, especially just north of Hartford. But there we're getting a signature right there. Providence is right here. So it'd be up north of Providence. Clay is over here, so it's coming right up through the heart of Webster County and heading towards the Dixon area. So we are seeing a couplet there. We're not seeing debris in the air like we were seeing and continue to see down in Ohio County. So that's an indication that this may or may not be on the ground. But you can see a little couplet right there, and that would be coming in. And let's zoom in a little tighter to that area to really pinpoint where we're dealing with this tornado threat in Webster County. And now it looks like it's getting closer to the Dixon area. So it came out of Clay. It's riding 132 and probably about to go into Dixon. So this is going to be going through the Dixon area. It does not look as big as the tornado in Ohio County. It's not even a confirmed tornado, but it is rotation showing up on first warning Doppler. We know the atmosphere is capable easily of producing tornadoes tonight. So there is concern here in Webster County of a tornado that may be heading up very close to the Dixon area, and then it's going to continue right through the heart of Webster County, going up towards Ortiz and then crossing Highway 41 there. But this is the tornado warning that we have in effect for Webster County, and in particular the Dixon area right now. We'll look at this on reflectivity real quick. This is kind of embedded within all of that rain, but at least with the correlation coefficient, we're not seeing anything debris-wise. Now let's take the same product and let's head over into Ohio County, where we have the bigger tornado, and there's the debris. We're still showing it. You see it? You see the difference here? In the sea of orange and red, that's your tornado there, and it looks like it came in just north of Hartford. It is now moving up towards Sunnydale and Jingo. So, again, the one where we've got down in Ohio County continues to be the more dangerous one. It certainly still seems to be on the ground here as it heads up towards Dukehurst. It's going to be tracking right along Kentucky 69 to the northeast of Hartford through Dukehurst and Sunnydale, Sulphur Springs, probably just north of Jingo. But in that 69 corridor, especially just along and north of 69, it looks like that's where the tornado is going. And we still have high confidence that this is a tornado doing damage and now moving through Ohio County to the northeast of Hartford, which looks like it just missed it. It looks like that tornado came in just to the north of Hartford. It is now moving up towards Dukehurst and the Sunnydale area. We're not seeing returns like this in Webster County, but we have a possible tornado passing close to Dixon right now, and so we're going to keep an eye on that. There's also a tornado warning up in Knox County. That's a fringe county for us. Our sister station up in Terre Haute, I'm sure, is covering that right now. And you can check in with Ron and Joe maybe on social media, Facebook, where they're doing some live feeds right now. They might be able to spend a little more time with that. But I need to focus on this really dangerous situation down here in Ohio County, and then a little less so, but still significant in Webster County. But we know this is producing damage, and there's still a strong signal that it is still producing damage with debris in the air right along Kentucky 69 as it heads across eastern Ohio County. So 69 corridor, Sunnydale, Sulphur Springs, and maybe Dundee. Those are going to be the areas up towards Narrows. But you can see right now, and we're focusing in on this blue area right here. This is a product we haven't really used in the past. We call this the correlation coefficient, and it's where the radar can actually tell the difference between raindrops, hailstones, and larger objects, which would be basically debris. You don't normally see large objects in the air. Radar beam hits that. It tells the difference and says, hey, this is probably debris. And if you have debris, you probably have a tornado. And that's why the confidence is high that this is on the ground along Kentucky 69, passing very close to Dukehurst and Jingo, and then it's going to continue up the 69 corridor up to Sulphur Springs and Sunnydale area. So you really need to be in your tornado-safe areas in those locations. So let me zoom back out a little bit more here and show you that, and we'll go back and show you live first warning Doppler radar here and just check velocity products out here. We're still continuing to see really a prominent shear there. So that's also a good indication. And so compare that, and now we're going to go back into Webster County and take a look at what's going on there and see how that compares to what we just looked at over in Ohio County. And you can see not nearly as strong. We're still seeing shear right here, but it's not nearly as pronounced as what we were seeing up or down in Ohio County. And by the way, I think we are off ABC 25.
And CW7. Wayne, we're streaming now. We're live streaming on tristatehomepage.com, and we've got our Facebook Live going. That's what we have going right now. We've got more engineers coming in, so hopefully the problem is solved soon.
Okay.
But yeah, that's more of the situation right now.
Okay, so if you are hopefully watching us on the live stream right now, if you're trying to get us on air, we've taken some kind of power hit at our studios here, and we are off the air. We are trying to get back on. We are back on now? Tri-State homepage. Okay, so we are off the air, but we are streaming, and on the app too, I assume, right? Okay, so we are on the Tri-State Weather Authority app and tristatehomepage.com, and sure, we put that out over social media to let people know what's going on. We took some kind of power hit. It wasn't a severe storm here at our studios, but we took some sort of a power hit. So right now, we are looking at rotation in the Dixon area, right through the heart of Webster County, where we have a possible tornado. That is significant shear, not nearly as dramatic, though, as what we're seeing down in eastern Ohio County. But this rotation is going to come right up 132 towards the Seabury area next. So it's going to threaten Ortiz. It'll pass southeast of Wanamaker, go up towards Seabury, and then we'll see if additional warnings are necessary. But this is moving in the general direction of the Owensboro area, but too early to tell if it's going to hold together and actually be a problem there for Owensboro. But I wanted to show you that because we're working multiple warnings here. And I guess if you're watching us online, you don't have the crawl at the bottom of the screen, but on our app and our website, you can go to the weather wall, and our weather wall has a list of all the alerts, and they're color-coded for the various warnings in the area. And hopefully we're going to get back on the TV side here soon. But we're back in Ohio County right now and checking out the situation up here where we continue to see significant rotation right along the Jingo-Sunnydale corridor. And let's go back here and zoom in a little bit tighter, and we'll see what's going on in a little more detail here. Sulphur Springs, looks like you're heading up towards the Sulphur Springs area. This is right along the Kentucky 69 corridor is where we're getting the bulk of the returns right now. And the what's really doing the best job here is the correlation coefficient. So we're going to switch over to that, and we continue to see that bright shade of blue indicating some debris right between Jingo and Sulphur Springs. So that looks to be the most favored area now for a tornado, and that is going to be crossing over 878 and probably getting very close to Sulphur Springs and then passing east of Sulphur Springs. And you can see it right now. The new data just came in. It's right along 878, southeast of Sulphur Springs, and will track northwest of Olathe. And then as it continues northeastward, it looks like it's going to go south and east of Narrows. And then finally, we'll be exiting Ohio County up here near Shreve in the northeastern corner of the county, and then pushing up into eventually Breckenridge County as this continues to move to the northeast. But still, confidence is pretty high that we've got a tornado that is producing some damage here, crossing through the heart of Ohio County, now just to the east of Sulphur Springs, crossing Kentucky 878, and then tracking up across the northeastern part of the county. And again, we are live now on our app and our website. We are trying to get back on the air on both ABC 25 and the CW7. We took some sort of power hit at the station that knocked our transmitter off, and so we are working on that, and hopefully we'll be back on the air. But at least right now we are able to stream our coverage and get it to you via our Tri-State Weather Authority app, our Tri-State On The Go app, and our website, tristatehomepage.com. And then hopefully we'll be back on the air because this severe threat could continue into the overnight hours, hopefully to a lesser degree, since this has been a major tornado in our southern counties here. And as you heard earlier, there appears to be significant damage in the Dawson Springs area, where they're asking for help from Christian County to help people and rescue people. And we've also heard of significant damage in the Bremen area from this tornado now that is in eastern Ohio County, crossing 878 to the east of Sulphur Springs. And we'll continue to move off to the east-northeast. We'll probably be out of Ohio County here in about another 15 minutes. And then we'll focus on the weaker ones. And we do have a potential tornado in northern Webster County. So we're kind of going back and forth between the two. So we'll head back and show you the bigger picture.
A couple more damage reports. You were just mentioning a few that we had mentioned earlier, and we got a couple new ones into our newsroom, and they've passed them along here to me. But along Old Highway 41, between Earlington and Morton's Gap, a train was blown off the track there. And it sounds like in that area, too, there are some houses that have quite a bit of damage. We haven't quite gotten a number on that or how extensive the damage is, but we are working on getting a crew to head down into that area. So again, between Earlington and Morton's Gap, and if you remember back to that, that long-tracked tornado did pass very close to Earlington, perhaps just to the south, but that was very close there. So again, between Earlington and then Morton's Gap, it does look like we have had some significant damage in that area too. Obviously not surprising, but pretty impressive reports coming in with a train being blown off the track there along Old Highway 41. And that is all being confirmed by the Hopkins County dispatch. So we've been in contact with them. These are the reports that just continue to come in for us. And like I said, we are sending a crew down there too. So we've still got that storm in the tri-state in northern Ohio County. We are working to continue to follow that for you. Once we get that out of here, then we will continue to track everything that's still to the west behind it. So we're certainly not done yet, but it will be nice to get that long-tracked tornado on out of here. But we'll continue to pass along these damage reports to you. I have a feeling, Wayne, that they're just going to continue to roll on in as we go through the rest of the night and into tomorrow.
Yeah, nighttime event, so it's going to take a while to get all the reports, but unfortunately we're hearing reports of significant damage in some of our southern communities. But we're still tracking a dangerous situation here. The last of it for our viewing area, we're in eastern Ohio County, and this is 878. There's Olathe, Narrows, Shreve, Heights, Falls. So we're up here in the northeastern portion of Ohio County, and that correlation coefficient product is basically indicating where there is debris lofted into the air. So let me pull back a little bit more here to put things into perspective. There's Fordsville up to the north. There's Sunnydale. Hartford Beaver Dam is way down to the southwest. So this is going to be going up towards Shreve, and then eventually it's going to be pushing up into Breckinridge County and will be out of our viewing area. So you can see that this is the storm of concern right now. The one in Webster County, we still have a tornado warning on it, but we're not getting any debris indicators coming in from that. But it looks like, they just issued a new warning. Looks like Owensboro now under a tornado warning. Okay, so
let me get you the details on that. So yes, they've extended that warning out of Webster County. So now it is a tornado warning for southwestern Spencer County, really most of Davis County, southeastern Henderson County, northwestern Mclean County, and northeastern Webster County. That's going to go until 12:30 a.m. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Seabury, 15 miles northeast of Providence. They've got it moving to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. Radar indicated rotation, so tornado and quarter-sized hail are our main threats there. So still nothing like the strong language that we heard with that long-track tornado, but they are feeling like this storm is still significant enough and has enough of a tornado potential to issue that tornado warning based on some radar indicated rotation. So again, that's going to go until 12:30, and that's moving off to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. So let's take a closer look at that here on First Warning Doppler with Wayne.
Yeah, it's the same storm we've been tracking across Webster County, so it's now getting into northern Webster County, and we'll be going across the northwestern corner of Mclean, far southeastern Henderson, and then up into Davis County, including the Owensboro area, and then into southern portions of Spencer County. So that is the new tornado warning, and that does include the city of Owensboro. So you got ample time to prepare here for a possible tornado. At least this one does not appear to be as dangerous as the one in Ohio County, but any tornado is certainly dangerous. It's just tonight we've seen a big one in our southern counties. So let's get to the radar products here and see if we can pick out the rotation. And there it is, very close to Seabury right now. So it looks like that's a pretty decent couplet in the Seabury area. That's a pretty decent return there. Not as strong as what we were seeing with the storms down in the southern counties, but certainly what looks like it could be a tornado here. And we'll zoom in a little tighter on the Seabury area, and you can see that couplet just moving into Seabury. So it looks like we got a possible tornado moving into the city of Seabury, and then that's going to continue northeastward right up along the Henderson-McLean County line, up towards Comer, Delaware, and then up into western portions of Davis County. And that's why we have to keep an eye on this as it moves towards the city of Owensboro here. But right now it's holding its own together. It's not producing winds as strong as the storm that's now down in eastern Ohio County, which we are fairly confident is a tornado. This is still radar indicated, but we're seeing a pretty significant couplet there. And as we check out the products here, the correlation coefficient, not seeing any debris being lofted into the air, so that's a good sign that it's not hopefully on the ground, and if it is, it's not all that large. Now the sirens are going off in Henderson right now, in the city of Henderson, but that's because the southeastern part of the county is under a warning. It's all or nothing in Henderson County. So even though the sirens are going off in the city of Henderson is not under a warning. This is for the southeastern corner of Henderson County and more likely right along the Henderson-McLean County line. We've got the storm coming out of the Seabury area right now, and that couplet has weakened a little bit as it pulled out of a Seabury here, but it looks like it's going to be pretty much riding the Henderson-McLean County line, very close to Comer, then up towards the community of Delaware. That's when it shoots up into western portions of Davis County in Kentucky. And then we got to keep an eye on the Owensboro area. So let's pull the map over here and kind of bring into perspective the possible tornadoes moving through Seabury, gets up here along Henderson, McLean County line, then into western portions of Davis County, West Louisville, Sargo. It looks like it could pass more west of Owensboro, the way it's going right now. but at least the rotation we're seeing with this storm is not nearly as pronounced as what we were seeing down in Ohio County. So that's a good sign there. But Weather Service is not going to take any chances. Atmosphere is primed to produce tornadoes tonight. We've seen that already. And so when rotation starts to show up, they're going to pop a warning. And at least this one may be cycling up and down. It doesn't look quite as pronounced on this latest scan here. But we'll compare that to what's going on in Ohio County here as we slide over to the east. And this is the confirmed tornado that looks like it's still on the ground, but you can see it's way up here now in the northeastern corner of Ohio County near the community of Shreve. So this long track tornado that has been moving across our southern counties now for over an hour is about to finally exit Ohio County into southern Breckinridge County, and then the Louisville television stations will be taking over responsibility for tracking that. But it's over Shreve right now, which is way up in the northeastern corner of the tri-state in Ohio County, I should say of Ohio County, and we'll be exiting shortly. We'll keep that information scrolling across the bottom of the screen, but now we're going to be shifting the tornado warning for the Seabury area that is going to be translating northeastward up along the Davis, Mclean, Henderson County line. But at least right now we're not seeing velocity data that are looking all that impressive on our first warning Doppler system. So what I want to do real quick is kind of reset the table here and show you the bigger picture of what's going on throughout the entire tri-state. Nothing really threatening Evansville now. These severe storms are passing to our southeast of Evansville. There's some rain up there, but the tornado threats are southeast. And then we have this line of storms along I-57, which will be coming in from the west once again, increasing our threat for severe weather. All right, let's head over to Brad and Stacy for another update.
New update for us, just into our newsroom.
And we've been talking about Mayfield, Kentucky,
right,
and this gives you an idea of how devastating this storm has been. Our local sales manager, Greg Murdoch, has a friend there who has told him the jail is leveled, the courthouse is on fire, First National Bank, the fire station, CVS, and Gibson's Pharmacy are all gone.
Oh, my goodness.
And we're also getting some reports that the damage in Dawson Springs is also devastating.
Right.
So.
All right. Thank you, Brad, for your updates. We appreciate it. We continue to get, like we said, more and more of these really massive damage reports from around the area. And we're still finally going to get this long track tornado on out of the tri-state here soon, Wayne. But the damage reports continue to come on in.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's not good news, certainly in the Dawson Springs, Bremen area. But that storm is now exiting the tri-state. It's just about out of the northeastern corner of Ohio County and is now going to be tracking across southern Breckinridge County. Our concern now is shifting to this rotating storm, not confirmed. This is not nearly the situation that we dealt with in our southern counties over the past hour, but still a tornado threat here, radar-indicated tornado rotation that is now pushing out of the Seabury area right along the Henderson-McLean County line near the community of Delaware, and then that's going to be shooting up towards Owensboro, at least initially in western Davis County. So we're going to be watching that. Nothing really of significance in the Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh area right now, but to the west, here comes a line of storms that is going to be moving through here in the next, probably 30 to 60 minutes as we see the storms continue to move from west to east here. And as we head back here, I'm going to show you the loop here, the 1 hour loop. And these storms moving off to the northeast, and then this line that's coming in from the west right now, that's going to be perhaps the final line of concern here. You can see it about to hit the western fringe. Severe thunderstorm warnings for that part of the line, approaching the I-57 corridor. Another tornado warning here just west of Clay County. And after that, it looks like that is about it. That's going to be the cold front. And if that's the case, we might get this event over a little earlier than anticipated. Initially, it looked like it could go as late as 5 a.m., but this looks to be the final line of storms right here, about to hit our western fringe. Now, we still have a good 3 to 4 hours to go, but 3 a.m. is better than 5 a.m. But we have to deal with that line that is still moving our way And that would be the main event perhaps for Evansville, which has just missed out on the storm so far to our south and east. So again, the Ohio County threat is over. That storm's out of our viewing area, that long track tornado. There's another supercell down here in northwest Tennessee. That one would more than likely track just southeast of the tri-state, maybe southern Muhlenberg County. We'll keep an eye on that. But the main concern now is this cluster coming into northwestern Mclean County, moving towards Davis County, where it looks like we have at least rotation on the radar. So we'll get back to live first warning Doppler radar, and we will zoom in and analyze this for you, because this is going to be the story here in the short term. All the while, we're gathering information from the damage in our southern counties, in particular Dawson Springs, Bremen. We know of significant damage in those two communities, and we're getting more information out of there. But you can see here in the metro, a little rain pushing through Henderson and Evansville and Newburgh, but nothing right now that's an issue for the Evansville area. But Owensboro, it's another story. You've got this rotating storm that is down in this area right here. So let's head back and look at the VWX radar products. And the shear is right there. It's right where Mclean, Davis, Henderson counties all come together. That's where we're seeing a little bit of shear. It's not nearly as pronounced as what we were seeing earlier down to the south, but that's going to be riding up pretty much just inside the Davis County side of the Henderson County line. And right now it looks like it would pass to the northwest of Owensboro. But we'll continue to watch that, because that's the first storm of significance that's impacting the metro area. But right now you can see the rotation right there, and the new sweep just came on in, and it's still significant. It's just not nearly as strong as the large tornado that just exited Ohio County, but definitely seeing some shear here. We checked the correlation coefficient, not really seeing anything in terms of pronounced returns there indicating debris. And just looking at the velocity products here, we'll back up and look at the shear tracks and see if we've got a good history on this one. And you can kind of see it there. Coming across Webster County, it looks like it passed very close to Dixon and then went right through Seabury. And so if you just continue that track, it looks like it's going to go just inside the Davis County side of the Henderson County line, and then probably right up to the northwest of Owensboro into southern Spencer County. And this will be more of a threat maybe to Rockport and Rio than it will be Owensboro, assuming it stays together and continues on that straight line. That's the way it's looking right now on our system. So obviously Owensboro, you want to be ready to get to your safe place. It's not an imminent threat right now. The more significant threat is over here in the southwestern part of the county, as that rotation continues to move your way. But here's live first warning Doppler radar. Radar sites right up there. Got a pretty good shot in there. So not seeing much in the way of lightning. So this one I think is kind of struggling to stay together. But we're still seeing that rotation within the storm. So we'll zoom in a little tighter here. Focus in on that rotation, which came out of the Seabury area. So it's probably moving up towards Delaware right now. So we'll head back here, check out the radar, and we'll go with VWX and the velocity, and there it is right there. It looks like it came through the Delaware area and is now going to be riding the Henderson-Davis County line, probably moving up towards probably just west of Sargo. And now they just updated it. You can see that's exactly what they're looking at. They've just updated the polygon. So this is going to pass just east of Hebbardsville, right along the Henderson-Davis County line, and probably pass west of Sargo and go up towards Griffith there, and more than likely go northwest of Owensboro. What's the Weather Service saying on this one, Stacy?
Okay, they just updated this one, and now they are saying tornado warning for northwestern Mclean and northeastern Webster counties is canceled, but they are continuing it for southwestern Spencer, central Davis, and east central Henderson counties. That'll still go until 12:30. Thank you, Ron. I couldn't find it for a second. But they're still just saying severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Stanley, 9 miles west of Owensboro. They've got it moving still at the same speed, northeast at 50 miles per hour. Still just radar indicated rotation, but they're going to keep that tornado warning going for about another 40 minutes. Again, for southwestern Spencer, central Davis, and then east central Henderson counties. But they have now canceled the warning for Northwestern Mclean and Northeastern Webster counties. So we'll keep that tornado warning going, and we will continue to track it for you. We'll go in and look here on first warning Doppler as it kind of moves again just to the north there of Owensboro and pushes its way up into southern Spencer County. So we've still got the warning going for about another 40 minutes, Wayne, as of right now.
And just saw a report coming into the Weather Center of homes that were leveled in Bremen. We may have already reported that, but that appears to be the case in Bremen and Dawson Springs. Yeah. Those are the two communities we know that have been hit hard. We know the storm passed very close to Earlington. Madisonville's okay. We're not sure about Earlington, but it looked like it went.
Seems like between Earlington and Morton's Gap, which seems like what we were seeing on the radar. We have gotten some pretty significant reports, but more south of Earlington.
Right. Okay. Okay, but now we're focusing in on a weaker storm. Matter of fact, the rotation in this latest scan looks even weaker yet. We're basically tracking it over in this area, right along the Henderson-Davis County line, right there. So this looks like it's riding right up the river there, heading up towards Griffith. We'll probably pass west of Sargo, but no confirmation that this is actually on the ground. This is just radar indicated, and it's probably a situation, considering how juiced the atmosphere is and how energetic it is, that even though it may not be producing a tornado right now, it's spinning a little bit. And if conditions become just right, it quickly could drop a tornado. And so I think that's why the Weather Service is actually going with a tornado warning. It's situational awareness. We know the atmosphere tonight is primed to produce tornadoes. All kinds of wind shear out there, strong level jets at the low and mid levels here. We've got the warm, moist air in place. So everything is there for tornadoes. So when you see a storm start to spin a little bit, they're not going to take a chance. They're going to put a tornado warning out. At least what we're seeing here doesn't look nearly as dangerous as what went through our southern communities here within the past couple of hours. Right now, it looks to be passing northwest of Sargo. It's going to head up towards the Griffith area. That would be the most favored area if we're going to get a tornado out of this. But again, we're seeing very weak returns. We're not seeing anything on the correlation coefficient to indicate debris making it down to the ground. Reflectivity, not much in the way of lightning there. So this is a situation that is certainly a significant one. It's dangerous, but just doesn't rise to the level of what we saw down to the south. Everything's relative, I guess. If this had been the first warning of the night, yeah, it's been a big deal. It'd be our first tornado warning. But based on what we've seen down to the south, this is much smaller, but even an EF0 can cause damage and be a very significant threat. But right now, we're not seeing anything on the radar that indicates anything too large and nothing that indicates that this is actually on the ground. But it's always a possibility. And so it looks like, again, it's going to pass to the northwest of Owensboro, go up towards the Griffith area, and then up into southern Spencer County, probably towards Rockport, maybe Rio, up in that area. And even though it's a little weaker now, that doesn't mean it can't begin to ramp up again and begin to spin a little bit more and increase the tornado threat. So we're watching that. Not too much up here in the Evansville area. Let me go back to reflectivity here and back off of this and show you the bigger picture. And let's go to the home view here. And we do have a storm picking up in intensity just southwest of Henderson. So it looks like the rain's going to be picking up in Henderson once again. Storms have cleared our far northeastern counties, which were under warnings earlier. And then we've got the final line of storms now about to hit the western fringe of the tri-state. And there's a long line of severe storm warnings along the I-57 corridor. And if those warnings are continued eastward, they'll be necessary for parts of Wayne, Hamilton, and Saline counties next. There's a tornado warning up just to the west of Clay County, Illinois. But this will be the final line of storms that we're going to have to deal with tonight. as everything races off to the east-northeast at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. And again, we've been fortunate so far in Evansville. And this line here will probably present more of a damaging straight line wind threat than it will a tornado threat. Still could be some embedded circulations in there, but this would more than likely be more of a straight line concern versus what we've been seeing in our southeastern counties, where we've seen more in the way of rotating storms, and obviously the confirmed tornado that went through southern portions of the tri-state earlier today. So there's your line of storms about to hit the western fringe of the tri-state. Meanwhile, we've got the storm with weak rotation moving over northwestern Davis County up near the Griffith area. That'll cross over into southern Spencer County and pass off to the northwest of Owensboro. There's what's left of the tornado that came out of Ohio County, the long track tornado, now into southern Breckenridge County. It looks like that's eventually going to track south of Louisville as it continues to the northeast. So we'll zoom back in to the metro and in particular the Owensboro area. And you can see that storm with the rotation. I'm going to go ahead and stop the radar here and check out the live view. You can kind of see a little hook on it there. So still some signatures that this could be an issue and produce a threat. Seeing a little bit of a hook, and that's coming in. Let me zoom in a little tighter yet. And that's going through Burke City. There's Newman, Griffith. So, yeah, kind of passing what we thought up towards the Griffith area, maybe just to the west of Griffith. It's now crossing Highway 60 up in northwestern Davis County. So again, I think Owensboro, you're going to be okay with this particular threat as it continues across the Ohio River, which is right here. So now it's up in northwestern Davis County, about to cross the river up into southern Spencer County. And there's Enterprise, Eureka. So it crosses the river and then heads up towards the Rio and the Rockport area. But let's see what's showing up with the velocity over here on first warning Doppler. And as we check that out, I'm not seeing too much there. Going back to the raw velocity, yeah, it's just really not all that pronounced at all. But I think the Weather Service is staying with this. How long does this warning go, Stacey?
12:30 actually. So
yeah,
it's supposed to go until 12:30. We'll see. They haven't updated it again yet, but that was their last update. But I would think if it continues to not show much rotation, they might cancel that early.
They may.
Yeah, because that seems like quite a while still. Plus, it looks like it's going to go a little more northeast even than what they're warning. Their polygon looks like.
Yeah, and there's the new update came in. Very weak rotation right there north of Griffith, about to go towards Enterprise along the river, and then cross over into Spencer County. So Rio is right here. So really, it looks like this is going to be heading right into the Rio area. That's where the drive-in, the movie drive-in is. Starlight, I believe is the name of it. Yeah, if you're familiar with that, that's located right here. So that's where you take the jog south down 161 to get to Owensboro if you're coming across Warwick and Spencer counties. So that's where this rotating part of the storm is heading, right into the Rio area. And then South Spencer High School is right over here also. But again, we're not seeing anything on the radar right now that looks all that ominous, just weak rotation. But since the atmosphere is primed to produce tornadoes tonight, it could ramp up quickly as the upper levels continue to have a lot of wind shear in them. So the Weather Service is continuing the tornado warning for that area. But the threat about to end in Davis County. In Owensboro, you're going to be fine here, and the threat's going to be shifting up into Spencer County. Looking at the reflectivity here, you can see a little bit of a gap there, if you will, where that circulation is occurring along the river. Rain picking up in Henderson. Let's head over westward along the river and check out the situation in the Evansville-Henderson area. This latest wave is coming through Henderson, but missing Evansville. There's the heavy rain that's moving through the city. Not much in the way of lightning coming out of that, but we'll watch that for any potential circulations that might try to get going. But you can see it's passing just to the south of Evansville, and even to the south of Newburgh is getting a little bit of rain, but you're not seeing nearly as much as what we're seeing down in the Henderson area, and this does not appear to be severe. So getting back to southern Spencer County, this is the one warning we're working right now. We're probably going to have additional warnings coming into the western edge of the tri-state here shortly with that final line of storms. But right now, the one tornado warning we have, and this is minimal compared to the one we had just down in our southern counties for the past 2 hours, but still a threat nonetheless of a possible tornado. It would be a small one if we got one, but it's now crossing over the river and will likely go up towards the Rio area. And the circulation is in that area that you see right there. And as we check out the velocity, well, actually, it's picking up a little bit now. We're seeing a little bit more in the way of shear. So this one would be cycling up a little bit more as it crosses over into Spencer County. So that's heading up towards the Rio area. That's a little more of a distinctive couplet. So that is raising the level of concern now a little bit more for southern Spencer County, in particular the Rio, South Spencer High School area there in the southern part of the county. That rotation appears to be ramping up a little bit now and moving towards the Rio area. And then, of course, Rockport is right over here. And it looks like it will shoot to the northwest of Rockport, go through Rio to Silverdale, up towards Rock Hill, and then northwest of Grandview. So that's the threat we have right now. It's picking up a little bit compared to the past several scans. Let's go to Stacey with an update.
A new damage report coming in back to our long track tornado, where we, of course, have been telling you about the damage all night long, starting off in Arkansas and in our area, especially Dawson Springs. And now we're starting to get some pretty extensive damage reports from Ohio County. So north of Hartford on 231, north of Hartford and 136, we've got extensive damage. They're talking about lots of power lines down and a lot of buildings being damaged too. So again, that long track tornado through that whole path is definitely got an extensive line of damage there. Again, goes back to Dawson Springs and Bremen area too. Lots of damage there, but now we're starting to get some reports out of Ohio County. Storm has now moved out of Ohio County and out of the tri-state, so we don't have to track it anymore. But again, extensive damage reported in the area north of Hartford there on 231. Lots of power lines down and lots of buildings damaged there too. And we've also been getting lots of reports out of Ohio County of people without power. One report I saw not too long ago was over 3,500 people without power down there in Ohio County. And like we said, unfortunately, we're going to continue to probably get these extensive damage reports in through the night and into tomorrow morning because of that long track tornado. Thankfully, it is out of the tri-state now, and we're watching some weaker, possibly tornadic storms that Wayne was tracking for you there. Into Spencer County in far northern Davis County. So we'll get back to Wayne on the radar here in just a second, but that's the latest, Wayne. So we're now, like I said, we're just keep seeing these damage reports move farther and farther to the east because of that big tornado that you tracked all the way through the southern parts of the tri-state.
Yeah, indeed. And I'm sure we'll be having a lot of coverage on that over the next 24 hours, especially with the light of day tomorrow. That will really tell the tale as far as how bad it has been in our southern counties. But we are tracking a tornado threat here in southern Spencer County. It's weak rotation, but you can kind of see it right there, approaching Rio from the southwest. Rio is right there. There's Patronville, South Spencer High School's over here. Rockport, it's going to shoot up to the northwest of Rockport. Not nearly as strong compared to the tornado that went across our southern counties. That was probably a major tornado, probably at least EF3 in spots, and maybe not along the whole track, but it certainly looked like EF3 strength or stronger based on the damage reports we're getting. With this one, we can't even guarantee it's a tornado. It's just some rotation we're seeing here. Maybe a few little specks there showing up on the correlation coefficient. They kind of concentrated over there. We'll wait until we see a little bit more. But again, this is not too concerning, but it is, a possibility of a tornado here. We can't rule that out. So if you're in the Rio area of southern Spencer County, you want to be in your tornado safe area. Owensboro, you're in the clear there, but it's going to be an issue for southern Spencer County here. over the next 15 to 30 minutes as we continue to see this cluster of storms track off here to the northeast. As a matter of fact, the edge of the polygon looks like it cuts off around Rock Hill and Grandview, so we'll see if they actually extend this a little farther based on how that behaves. Weather Service office, by the way, in Paducah got knocked out. They weren't hit by the tornado, they lost power. So they had to give over warning responsibility. I guess that's still the case to Springfield, Missouri. So you actually have forecasters in Springfield, Missouri issuing our warnings right now. And that may be why I'm not saying they shouldn't be issuing a warning here, but it's familiarity. I've been talking too long. When you're familiar with an area, you kind of know when things look like they're getting dangerous. Every part of the country is a little different. So you have forecasters out in, okay, all right, we're back up on the air. We can put that out on social media. We are back up on the air on ABC 25 and the CW7. We were knocked out with a lightning strike earlier. We apologize about that, but we've been streaming all along on our app, our Tri-State Weather Authority app, Tri-State on the Go, and TriStateHomepage.com. So always have the stream as a backup because that's where you would watch us for the last 45 minutes. But now we are back on the air. We have a tornado warning for southern Spencer County. As I mentioned earlier, you have forecasters in the Springfield, Missouri office putting these warnings out because Paducah office lost power. So they're not really familiar with our area, but when it comes to warnings, you're looking at a radar screen, and it's pretty easy to issue them, even if it's not your area of responsibility. But there are nuances to each particular area. It's just interesting that that's who's pulling the trigger on these warnings right now. And the Weather Service has those backups in place. If a Weather Service office is knocked out, another office takes over responsibility, and that's the case tonight. I guess the radar was also knocked out. Are they on chat right now, Stacey? Okay.
But it's the other office doing it,
too. So none
of
the local people are on chat. Okay. Because we have what's called the NWS chat, where we can communicate with the Weather Service forecasters and the folks down there that are issuing the warnings. And apparently we're communicating with the ones in Springfield, Missouri. But it's all good. It's kind of an interesting situation. We were knocked off the air for 30 minutes, and NWS Paducah has been knocked off along with the radar site here. But we're watching a weak circulation here in southern Spencer County, where a tornado warning continues, and we're getting pretty close here to the edge of this particular polygon, and we'll see if they decide to extend this beyond southern Spencer County, but we're not seeing...
Thunderstorm warning for that line coming in, kind of a blanket one. Let me look at it here for you.
Okay, new warning, and that's, we'll back it up here. Show you live first warning Doppler.
So it's a severe thunderstorm warning for western WEHT, all of Wayne, southeastern, northeastern, well, hold on, those aren't our two, northwestern Saline, all of Hamilton County. So again, the western fringe there of the tri-state now under a severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to go until 1 a.m. You can see it blinking there. So it's a severe thunderstorm warning. So you're seeing it in that yellow polygon now. And the main threats are going to be 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and penny-sized hail. So we're talking about straight line winds up to 60 miles per hour. I will tell you that line did produce a wind gust just to the west a little while ago. I think it was 63 miles per hour. So a little bit over 60, not out of the question, but the language in the warning is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. Radar indicated, but certainly that could do some damage too. So we are going with just a severe thunderstorm warning, but they are basically doing it for that whole line as it comes in from the west. And this is finally our last line. But like Wayne said, we were expecting perhaps this to not come until closer to the early morning hours or toward daybreak tomorrow morning, closer to 4 to 5 a.m. So it is coming in from the west right now. And so the National Weather Service has put out that line of severe thunderstorm warnings. It's going to go until 1 o'clock in the morning.
All right, so thanks, Stacey. So that's the final event, the final act of this event that's going to be playing out here. And you can see the warning covers a good deal of Wayne County, with the exception of the northwest corner, a good deal of western White County and all of Hamilton, far northwestern Saline County, as that line now crosses I-57 and moves into the eastern fringe of the tri-state. Let me show you the loop here. This is 1 hour loop, and you can kind of see how everything is moving along. And we've got these storms down here in our southeastern counties now that have been the real tornadic ones. And then this one, hopefully just more of a straight line wind threat, though a little spin up tornado could certainly be ruled out along that cold front. But we're watching to see what they do with this warning here, that circulation about to exit the polygon in southern Spencer County. And it looks like it has weakened. We'll see if they extend that. If they don't, then we'll be free of any tornado warnings for the first time in a while, but we'll still have the severe thunderstorm warnings off here to the west.
And they've canceled it, Wayne. They're canceling it for Spencer, Davis, and Henderson counties, and it just disappeared from your screen. So,
I think
it was canceled.
That's a good call, just based on what we've been seeing. Now, obviously, if the circulation and rotation ramps up again, they can reissue it, but just not seeing anything of significance there. So, really, for one of the rare times tonight, we are free of tornado warnings. We had one little window there before that major tornado moved into Hopkins County about 2 hours ago. But we've been pretty much wall to wall here since around, 7 o'clock this evening we started. And we're not done just yet. Now, normally with no tornado warnings, we would basically go back to regular programming, but considering what has happened in our southern counties tonight and the fact that we have one more line coming in here from the west, we're going to stay on the air, and it's the overnight hours. It is now 12:13, so programming-wise, nothing major on the air, and we figure you probably want to know what's going on weather-wise here, considering how volatile the situation has been in our southern counties this evening. And I'll kind of show you the bigger picture here to kind of put into perspective what has happened in our southern counties. I'll go ahead and show you the still radar here, and then we'll go back to the severe weather tracks, the shear tracks, and you'll be able to see the long track tornado here. But unfortunately, this one just goes back an hour, so I don't think we can extend that any farther. But this was the long track Dawson Springs across southern Hopkins, northern, right through the Ohio, and in Dawson Springs and in Bremen. Those are the two communities we know that were hit hard. The tornado did miss Madisonville. It may have produced a little damage in the Earlington area, especially points south of Earlington. And the damage may be significant in the rural areas. We just don't know about it yet. But in the communities that are populated, like Dawson Springs and Bremen, we obviously know that it's a bad situation. We don't know we know of some injuries, Stacy?
I have not officially heard any injuries.
Okay, we do know of some homes leveled, though.
Yes.
So we were hearing, descriptions of some really significant damage, but no injuries reported at this point. Hopefully that will continue to be the case. But that's a long track tornado, and that's where we're going to be focusing a lot of our news coverage here, certainly the rest of tonight and through the day tomorrow, as folks assess all the damage from what is probably the most significant tornado we have seen, I would guess, since 2005. Simply based on how long it more than likely was on the ground and the amount of damage it has done. Now, 05, we actually obviously had the fatalities. We had major damage in the Earlington, Madisonville area. It looks like the communities hit tonight were not as large, but still lots of people affected. And we don't know yet about injuries. Hopefully nothing in terms of fatalities. We just don't know yet. But if this was on the ground, this entire path here, that would be longer than the path of the 2005 Evansville area tornado, which went roughly from Smith Mills up here. It was on the ground about that long. And even the Madisonville, Hopkins County tornado wasn't on the ground nearly as long as this one. So again, this could be the biggest tornado event since 2005, 16 years ago. And of course, that was November of 2005. But we won't know until the light of day tomorrow. And it'll probably take a couple of days for the Weather Service to survey all the damage and get down there and determine exactly the strength of these tornadoes that produced the damage. But at least right now, no tornado warnings for the immediate tri-state area. Severe thunderstorm warnings off here to the west. And there's live first warning Doppler radar. We'll pull that back up here. And you can see that line now about to hit Fairfield from the west. So be prepared for some damaging straight line winds in the Fairfield area, and the Weather Service now just updating that particular warning. And what are they saying about that, Stacy?
They're just going to keep that warning going until 1 a.m. for Western White, for Wayne, and then also Northwestern, Saline, and Hamilton counties. Those are the ones in our viewing area along that line. So severe thunderstorms located along the line from Wayne City, 7 miles northwest of McLeansboro to near Thompsonsville. And that line is moving fast. They've got it clocked at moving northeast at 80 miles per hour. So talking about the potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and penny-sized hail. But yeah, keep in mind that that line is moving extremely fast. Off to the northeast at 80 miles per hour. Radar indicated, but they certainly are expecting damage to possibly to roofs, siding, and some trees as that line moves on through. And that could be some pretty widespread straight line wind damage as it moves on through. Do you have an update, Brad?
Well, I wanted to give an update since we are back on the air.
Yeah.
I know that we've been putting this out on social media and on our apps. 25 and 7 were off the air for about 45 minutes due to we believe may have been a weather-related incident with our transmission. But just to bring our broadcast audience up to date, it has been a chaotic situation in the Hopkins County area in the corridor of this storm. We have been told that reports in Mayfield, Kentucky are showing a devastating loss, and also a train has blown over off its tracks into houses between Morton's Gap and Earlington, Kentucky. Now, the Kentucky State Police Post number 1, which is based in Earlington, or not Earlington, but Mayfield, Kentucky, publicly stated on Twitter tonight that they expect perhaps a high level of lives lost in this tragedy tonight. And also, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear has issued a declaration of emergency for the Commonwealth due to the storms that are still going on.
Exactly,
and
that tornado's still on the ground.
Yes.
It's outside of our viewing area, but it has not let up yet.
Right, and he is planning to hold a news conference at 4 o'clock Central Time, our time, concerning the situation from the damage. But as you well know, Stacy, covering these events, it's dark outside.
Right.
It's hard for these first responders to grasp what has happened and try to assess what has happened. We do have a crew. Eyewitness News' Ryan Witry is in the Hopkins County area, is at the scene. They're keeping him away, first responders, while they assess the situation.
He went to where the train was blown off?
Where the train was blown into houses. So obviously that is an extremely serious situation. Yeah. And as Joe Bird and I were talking about, a wind that can take a train over pretty well demonstrates how serious the situation is.
Right, and Wayne and I have been saying that too. I mean, based on the reports that we are getting in, and we know we don't have all of them in yet because it is dark and it's the middle of, going into the middle of the night, it looks like it's at least an F3 at times, at least, when this tornado has been on the ground.
That's right. And I talked to the Hopkins County Emergency Management Agency. They confirmed the situation between Earlington and Morton's Gap. And also that KSP post from Mayfield was very, very disturbing as to what they're facing down there.
Right. And even in our area, Dawson Springs, Bremen, we're getting reports of people that have been trapped, that they're still trying to rescue and things like that.
Absolutely. And the situation in Mayfield, several, the jail was leveled. A bank was leveled. A drugstore and another pharmacy were leveled, and they're trying to assess, obviously, if people are trapped or potential, they're saying the possibility of potential fatalities.
Right.
So,
yeah, and we don't even probably know the number of homes that have been, leveled or destroyed or heavily damaged.
Dawn's first light comes in a few hours. They'll start to get a handle on this, but clearly tonight, and this is still an evolving situation. You all are still tracking. Ron Rhodes and Joe Bird are keeping people up to date on social media. So, but I wanted to bring our broadcast audience up to date on exactly the scope of the damage, the devastation, and the tragedy that's going on.
Honestly, hard to imagine.
Right.
So we'll continue to follow it. Thank you for the update.
Thank you, Stacey.
And we aren't out of the woods yet. Thankfully, we have gotten that long-tracked, violent tornado out of here, Wayne, but we're still not done with our storms tonight.